Yo, what's going on, guys? It's C-Brev. Welcome to another MLB The Show 21 video. In this one, I'm going to be going through the new players in the second inning program, analyzing them, giving my opinions on all the cards, and then telling you guys which one you should take out of the boss pack. We'll also be looking at the henchman pack, which is the diamond cards that are a little bit earlier in the program, and hopefully with this analysis and advice, you guys will be able to decide who you want to take out of this pack. If you guys are new to the channel, please like the video, subscribe. We post a ton of MLB The Show 21 content over here. And with that being said, let's dive right into the video. So first off, we're going to be going over what are called the henchmen, which is the diamond pack that's halfway through the program. This one's at 175,000 XP. Your choices in this pack are 87 Austin Riley, 87 Michael Kopech, and 87 Brad Miller. The worst card out of the three, in my opinion, is this Austin Riley, despite the fact that he is a pretty good card. Solid power hitting third baseman. However, if you've done most of the April monthly awards program, we just got two power hitters that can play third base, those being Justin Turner and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Some of you guys have got Pujols from Conquest still. I know I'm doing that on my no money spent account. And so in general, I just think third base is a really deep position right now for a lot of people, and you probably already have a power hitter there. Good card, don't get me wrong, but just probably not a lot of value to people's teams right now. Next is this Michael Kopech, which I am actually so excited for this card. This card has Outlier 1, which means his four-seam fastball, his primary pitch, will hit 102 miles an hour. Combine that with the fact that his two-seam drops down to 96, that's a 6-mile-an-hour difference between fastballs. That can really throw your opponent's timing off, especially on higher difficulties. This card is going to be nasty. Good speed differential as well. His slider and changeup are roughly the same speed, but despite that, he's got 4 distinguishable pitch speeds, which I like. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and especially if you play on higher difficulties, those being Hall of Fame and Legend, I think this is debatably a top 10 starter in the game right now, even though his overall is only 87. His pitch repertoire, his stuff is just really nasty. I know his control isn't the greatest, but there's the trade-off for having this good of pitches. For a card that will most likely be less than 10,000 stubs in a couple weeks, I think this is a must grab for pretty much everyone, unless you are really satisfied with all 5 of your starting pitchers right now. Extremely good card. You'll probably see a lot of him on Legend. And third in the henchman pack, we have this Brad Miller, who I'm also very excited about. This card is basically Team Affinity Keston Hero with his attributes, but he plays every position except catcher, and he's left-handed. I definitely think this card could start in the infield for a lot of people's teams right now. Because he'll have bronze defense and not great speed, I would stay away from playing him in the outfield, but regardless, throwing him in the infield somewhere is going to be nasty. Obviously, second base and shortstop I think would be really good spots for this card, although the arm strength at shortstop may hurt you. But this is yet another card that I think a lot of people's teams could use. Even if you're not going to start him, this is an invaluable bench bat. He can play everywhere. He crushes righties, so you can either use him as a pinch hitter when they're locked into a right-hander on the mound, or, which is a more exciting option in my opinion, you could start to look at platoon options. But the fact that he can play everywhere and he hits righties so well means you can really catch your opponent sleeping late in games if you have this guy on the bench. Let's say you have tops now Adam Duvall at third base who crushes lefties. They go ahead and bring in a righty reliever. Then you just bring in Brad Miller and instantly you have an at-bat with a huge advantage. Obviously, you guys know how platooning and pinch hitting works, but I just wanted to explain how valuable of a bench card at least I think this guy is. You could definitely make the argument to pick up all 3 of these cards, especially because they'll be pretty cheap. The henchman cards always are. If you look back at the henchman cards from the last program, those being Eovaldi, Mazzara, and Canna, they ended up around quick sale value of 5,000 stubs by the end of the program. All 3 of these cards are definitely worth more than 5,000 stubs, so as the program goes on, I will most likely be trying to pick up all 3 of these. But as far as who you should take out of the pack your first time through, I think it's definitely close between Kopech and Miller. Personally, I'm going to be picking Michael Kopech because I think his stuff is nasty and I'm going to have a lot of fun pitching with him, and then I'll probably end up buying Brad Miller a couple weeks into the program. Alright, and now let's get into the juicy stuff, which is the bosses. The 95 Jason Bay, new legend, 95 Lee Smith, and 95 Don Mattingly. This is a very interesting inning program and a very interesting choice because I think there's a clear-cut best card, but that card doesn't see the field very often. And that card is this 95 Lee Smith. Now, I try very hard to stay away from the term in-game, but this card is very close to in-game for a reliever. It goes without saying that his per nines are great, his walks per nine isn't even that low, and a little bit underrated is the fact that his stamina is 33. That's actually pretty high for a reliever. You will be able to get 2 innings out of this guy if you make him quick for sure. So he's got great per nines, good stamina, and that's not even the best part about this card because this card's pitch repertoire is disgusting. He throws 4 pitches and they're basically evenly split up in terms of speed differential, which is just beautiful to look at. Four seam is at 99, cutter 94, slider 89, and forkball 82. Trying to hit off this card is going to give a lot of people fits. If you guys are new and you don't know what forkballs are, they're basically like change-ups but look a little faster out of the hand. It's definitely a pitch that you can get people flailing at a lot if they're not expecting it, and the fact that this guy can come at you with a 100-mile-an-hour four-seamer, drop it down to a 94 cutter, and then drop it down even more to an 82 forkball is just nasty. I won't go on about it too much, but for a guy that doesn't throw a sinker, this is basically as close to a perfect pitch repertoire as you could ask for. Card is really nasty, and because you're going to be running 4 to 5 right-handed relievers the entire year, he's going to be in your bullpen for a very long time. So I definitely think this is the best card out of the 3 bosses, but there's a bit of a trade-off in that he is a relief pitcher. This is a card that at most is going to see the field for 2 to 3 innings every other game, as opposed to the other bosses who are position players and you'll get to use them every single game and hit with them 3, 4, 5 times. So that's the trade-off in value that you'll have to analyze for yourself. We acknowledge that Lee Smith is a top-end reliever and will be for many months, but do I want to spend my boss choice pack on a guy that doesn't see the field very often? Definitely a tough call, but from a card analysis standpoint, this is definitely the best card. I mean, this is just a nasty reliever. If I don't pick him, I'll probably end up buying him anyways. Next, we have new legend Jason Bay, 95 overall prime card. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, based off initial reactions, I think people are sleeping on this card a lot. This is a card that is absolutely gonna rake. This is a top tier offensive outfield option right now, and his defense isn't even that bad. If you can get him up to parallel 3 so that he has gold defense in game in left field, that would be amazing. And I want you guys to take a look at these attributes for a second. 92, 106, 96, 100. Jason Bay has comparable power and much better contact than the Steve Finley card does, and a lot of people right now consider Steve Finley one of the top options in the game in the outfield. Obviously, Jason Bay is worse than Steve Finley defensively, but I just wanted to show you guys this comparison because I think the 2 cards are closer than most people are giving them credit for. Defensively, in left field, Steve Finley would have 80 fielding and 88 speed. Jason Bay has 77 fielding and 64 speed. So defensively, really the only difference is the speed. And offensively, Jason Bay is comparable, if not better than Steve Finley. I know Finley gets a lot of praise because his swing is so good. We don't know how Jason's swing will be, but on paper, very close cards. And I also do acknowledge the fact that a lot of people are happy with their outfields right now, especially after Buxton just came out. But this card, in all honesty, looks really good to me, and he's definitely a top 10 outfielder in the game right now. He may be pushing top 5. Really good card, and he's on the other side of the coin of Lee Smith, where you would get to use this guy every single game. Just don't sleep on Jason Bay, that's all I'm saying. And finally, for the third choice, we have this 95 overall Don Mattingly, who can actually play third base as a left-handed thrower, which is hilarious. In terms of power level, I honestly don't know how to feel about this card. He's got diamond defense at first, but that's not really a position where you need a whole lot of defense. He hits righties extremely well, of course, 108 contact, 83 power, that's very good. But he leaves a lot to be desired in other areas. 50 power versus lefts is just simply not good enough for a guy with basically no speed. This card turns into a contact hitter against lefties with no speed, which I really don't like. He also plays a very deep position. I know first base is one of the deepest positions in the game, and a lot of people have already completed the live series collection, so they really don't have a need for this guy since they're already rocking Ortiz. Historically, I've thought Don Mattingly's swing has been good though. I just think that if I'm going to be making a choice to choose this guy over 2 other 95 overalls, that I'd like him to be a little bit more than just a platoon bat. I don't want to have to make this choice and then pinch hit for this guy if they bring in a lefty late game. Like I said, I think the card is good, just not good enough to choose over the other 2 in my opinion. So in summary, I'm sure you guys can already tell what I'm gonna say, but the best card in this pack is Lee Smith by far. Lee Smith is also 100% the guy that is gonna be on your team the longest moving forward throughout the year. However, the drawback is that he's a reliever and he's only gonna throw a couple innings for you every other game at most. So he is a very good choice for overall team strength, but you just won't get to use him very often. Jason Bay looks like an absolute thumper in the outfield with good enough defense, although I think he comes in second in terms of power level. However, he is a guy that can play every single game, and so you get to use him a lot more. And then obviously I think Don Mattingly is in third. He just doesn't have good enough stuff to bring to the table for me. It should also be noted that they give away high overall outfielders like candy on this game as the content cycle moves throughout the year, and so Jason Bay probably won't be on your team for that long. I would say that Lee Smith is the surefire long-term decision, but if you want Jason Bay for the short term and you're okay with getting rid of him in a month or 2, then that's probably the move. Personally, I'm taking Lee Smith. I love my outfield. I'm gonna set it and forget it, and we're gonna have a dominant closer closer if we need one. I might try to pick up Jason Bay and use him as the program starts to wind down and the prices get lower, but for now I'm content with just taking Smith and making my bullpen stronger. Mattingly, I'm most likely not going to be picking up in any capacity. I think there are tons of first base options. If he plays good at third, that changes things a little bit, but I'm a little weary obviously with him throwing left-handed. I want to see how bad it is in terms of balls that are hit down the third base line and trying to turn double plays and stuff. But regardless, I'll be taking Lee Smith. Jason Bay is a close second. Let me know down in the comments section below who you guys will be taking out of both the henchman pack and the boss pack for the second inning program. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hope this helped you guys out with your decision. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.